Hello and welcome back to the 90s Man podcast, your podcast for all things Newcastle United, hosted by three lifelong Newcastle United supporting buddies. Usually myself, joined by normally Jefferson and AC, but Jefferson will be joining us shortly, and so will Double D. AC still on his hiatus, but he'll be back soon. But myself, D-Man, I'm currently joined by Rodney. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, good, good. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Well, could be better, you know.
Yeah,
Back,
always.
yeah, back from the Liverpool game. But as usual, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Yeah, get the numbers up. But yeah, man, we're here to review the latest Newcastle fixture. You know, unfortunately, couldn't come back with a win, but we went to Anfield, played Liverpool, and got our usual beating. So it finished Liverpool 2, Newcastle United 0. And you being a Liverpool fan, you must be happy. We'll get to, the league. The league is practically done. Another routine win over Newcastle. But it is what it is. But let's start from the top. First of all, how long have you been supporting Liverpool?
So I have been a Liverpool fan from way back mid 70s.
Okay.
So actually, there's a bit of synergy from me supporting Liverpool and you supporting Newcastle probably, and
Yeah.
that is Kevin Keegan.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
when I first started supporting Liverpool, Kevin Keegan was still playing there.
Okay. King Kev. Okay.
Yeah. So that was around the time of won the league, lost the FA Cup to Man United,
Yeah.
and then beat Mönchengladbach in the European Cup.
Right. Okay.
So long time fan.
Yeah. Well, been to Anfield many times.
Listen, I have tried to get tickets is very difficult because I was
Yeah.
actually I had friends up in Liverpool
Mm.
and looking for connections to get me a ticket and have never been able to do it. So,
Oh, really?
hopefully,
Okay.
yeah. It's hard. It's hard. The tickets are very difficult to come by.
Right.
So hopefully
Okay.
at some point I'm able to actually go there to see a game.
Okay. Fingers crossed for you, man. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the game itself before we talk about Liverpool. You know how they're doing this season and what they can achieve and what might happen. But yeah, like I said, it finished 2-0. I'm gonna get the thoughts from Jefferson about our lineup and stuff. But from your perspective, right? Obviously, you probably were confident going into the game. Well, first of all, how we before the ball was kicked, before you saw any lineups, whatever, were you confident about the game itself?
Um, I was quietly confident, but I think that's more to do with the fact that Newcastle haven't really got a great record in the league against Liverpool, home and away.
Right.
Look at the last few years, there's been very few wins on the board for Newcastle. So I think sometimes with certain teams, you just think to yourself, do you know what? We might have a bit of an Indian sign over them, and I
Yeah.
think there's a bit of that going on with Newcastle. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as I say, I was quietly confident, and then when I saw that Isak wasn't in the lineup, I just thought, okay, we should be okay here. You know.
Yeah. I mean, from a Newcastle perspective, right? Even the most optimistic Newcastle fan wasn't really thinking we could go to Anfield and get a win, considering how we, like I said, the record that we've got against you lot is horrible. You know, and we didn't beat you under Klopp, and then from before that, I think you've got once in God knows how many years. It hasn't been easy, especially at Anfield. And we know Liverpool's a hard place to go to for any team anyway, and for us, we just seem to get stage fright. But there were some that, including myself, thought that if we play to our strengths, we might be able to get a draw simply because you haven't been playing that well of late, and there could have been a little bit of complacency given the lead that you have over Arsenal in the league anyway. But again, once we saw the team sheet and we saw there's no Isak, every fan knew what was happening. They knew what time it was. We knew there was no chance of getting anything from the game. Now, the talk is that it's a slight injury. He was kind of holding his hip against Nottingham Forest in the game before that towards the end. And the fact that he travelled with the squad suggests it was a game time decision or a late decision that was made. So fingers crossed it's not too serious. But last time it wasn't too serious. He missed about 4 or 5 games, so we don't know. But yeah, the lineup itself, Callum Wilson brought back in. There was no Sven Botman. There was no Joe Linton. And the biggest thing of all is that, he kept faith with Nick Pope. And a lot of fans were saying Dubravka, we spoke about in the last pod about the treatment of Dubravka anyway, but the fact that Pope didn't pull up any trees against Nottingham Forest, conceded the 3 goals, we thought that, bring back Dubravka because right now he's the better keeper. But Eddie Howard had other ideas and he stuck with Nick Pope. So then obviously the game starts now, and I don't think we weren't too bad. I thought we were doing all right. What I did like to see is that we didn't try to park the bus. We didn't just sit back. We kind of pressed high. We were on halfway line. We were trying to, when we did get the ball, we were trying to knock it about a little bit. I think that the first incident of note was the penalty shout from you guys, Hall and Salah. Did you think there was anything in that?
I actually thought that was a penalty, because if you look at the way that Lewis Hall fell, it's kind of like the fall actually, he diverted himself into Salah. So I actually thought that was a penalty. But then, you've got this whole thing about amongst Liverpool fans where, well, it's 2 things. It's one, it's the whole thing around Mo Salah, his reputation perhaps as being a diver, quote unquote. And then you've also got the whole thing around referees kind of like they don't want to be influenced by the crowd at Anfield. So there might have been a few of those things at play, but I wasn't really screaming and shouting for it because it was early in the game, and how often are you going to get a penalty that early in a game? It just generally doesn't happen. So I can't really say that I was particularly surprised that it wasn't given.
Okay. I see the Mighty Mag is in the building from NUFC Talk TV. Big up, Win. How you doing, my friend? Want to know your thoughts on the game as well. I know you said you've been very vocal in the WhatsApp chat, but share your thoughts, man. Big up, Double D. You all right? You good?
I'm here. What's going on?
We're good.
How you doing?
We got Rodney in the place. Yeah,
Rodney,
fellow Liverpool fan.
Yeah, all good.
Big up.
Oh, apologies, not Win. It's the Mighty Mag. Sorry, I didn't read that properly. Sorry. How you doing, my friend? Said I'm not that old bugger. He's in the pub. but yeah, Double D. We just kicked off on the game. Just to circle back then. What were your thoughts when you saw no Isak in the lineup, Double D?
You would have thought I would have been doing cartwheels, but since he's been at Bournemouth, Callum Wilson likes a goal against us, so I was still a bit wary. But obviously, Wilson's not going to drop back and link the play up like Isak. He's not as pacey as him, and you saw with the chances that he was presented with that he was a little rusty in terms of controlling the ball and whatnot. And if that had been Isak in those positions, it might have been a different game. But at the end of the day, you can only go up against what's in front of you. You get what I'm saying? At the end of the day, but you could see how much Isak, once the game kicked off, you could see how much Isak means to Newcastle in terms of the way that he'll drop off and allow others to move around him, because you weren't seeing that same movement. But it really affected Newcastle, to be honest. I think it would have been a much tougher game had Isak had been fit. You get what I'm saying?
It was interesting. It would have been interesting to see how Eddie Howe approached the game if Isak was fit, because I don't know, we kind of played a 4-4-2 with Gordon supporting Wilson. Now, whether that's because Wilson, he hasn't got the legs or whatever, and he, like I said, he doesn't drop in the pockets like Isak does, or what he going to do with a 4-4-2 straight away? Jeff says, "Get back in there, bro." He's really Liverpool. But
this guy,
But yeah, Double D, did you think that first the first incident with Hall and Salah, do you think there was a penalty? Anything in that?
Hall and Salah. I'm trying to think of
when
what.
before you scored, so the ball's come over and he's they say
Oh yeah. And then he called nah. At first I thought pen, but then on most days it would be given, but then when I saw one of the replays, I thought, okay, all right, you get what I'm saying. So I wasn't too mad about it, but I did, when I first saw it, I thought, yeah, that is a penalty. Like, how is that not a penalty? You get what I'm saying? But I wasn't to be too angry about it. Maybe, as you said, because we scored not too long after it. Otherwise, then you get to half time 0-0, you're gonna be like, that was a flipping, but yeah. But otherwise, overall, who did okay against Salah in the game. There were one or two. Salah skipped past him one or two times, but there were also one or two times where if he'd been able to just get past Hall, he would have been able to cut inside and have a shot. And Hall got a challenge in one. He was able to challenge him and get a corner, so he did okay. He did okay.
Who was our best player? He handled Salah well, I think. I think it was. I don't really. This particular stat I'm not too fond of, but there was a stat that Salah only completed one dribble past him. Now, you can say, yeah, that's a good stat, but Salah's not really known for dribbling anyway. So I'm not too sure. But yeah, listen, that particular incident, I think it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, innit? Like, if you're a Newcastle fan, you're screaming, it's no pen. If you're a Liverpool fan, you could say, okay, maybe there is. But agents come and said, not a pen in a million years. But fair enough. But it was irrelevant anyway because you lot soon took the lead up soon after that anyway. And from a Newcastle perspective, the goal was very avoidable.
Very avoidable.
Good work by Diaz on the left, right? But it's the marking in the middle of the pitch, And this is what, as much as Newcastle have been singing his praises, Sandro Tonali, like he's tracked Szoboszlai all the way back, and then when it's come to the key moment, I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to get on the line just in case you have to block the cross, whatever, or maybe block the shot. But stay with your man. He's left Szoboszlai well open, and it's gone through two defenders. Good finish, but it's gone through two defenders' legs. And then you've got.
Was it Burn? It clipped Burn, didn't it?
It clipped Burn a little bit.
Otherwise, I think Pope might have saved it.
I don't trust Pope because
again, he looks proper shaky, and it's affecting the whole back line because
this is it.
This season has shown a different level of composure that we haven't seen before.
And that's the error that Howe made. Like, I'm not going to get on Eddie Howe too much this time, but his one error that he made was selecting Nick Pope. Yeah, and because there's no justification to bring him back into this team, and we know Pope diving down is not the one. He's not the one, right? But
I mean, let's face it, it wasn't the most powerful of shots as well, either, was it?
It wasn't.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
He was trying to place it, so because it took the little clip.
I will say though, Szoboszlai he's the man on form at the moment, so it's things that anything he hit goes in. Kind of, he's in that kind of.
Have you heard the press conferences though? From Slot. Slot's damn near flipping told this guy, step up your GNA or Harvey Elliott's going to start, basically.
Oh, yeah, I saw something about that.
He's twice called him out. He said the first time he said that, his work rate is undeniable, but he said being a number 10 at Liverpool Football Club, you need to have higher GNA. And then he said it again, but it was more abrasive about it, you get me? So Dom's obviously heard it and stepped it up because otherwise Harvey's just waiting there to come and play that 10. But he's even some are saying play Szoboszlai as the 8 rather than the 10 because of the outrageous work rate and get McAllister a rest because every game McAllister's just getting kicked up and he's obviously gonna make a couple fouls himself. So there's variant options there that can be done with the midfield. But he's doing well, man. I'm happy for him because if you watch certain Liverpool pods, they castigate this guy, bro. It's like they don't see him running all over the pitch like a madman and challenging people and starting.
He's starting to pick up, man. I think now he's acclimatized to the league. I think he's doing all right. But Agents at the 4-4.
I think that is partly down to the early promise he showed when he first got to the club. First 3-4 games, there was talk of Steven Gerrard regen,
Hungarian Gerrard,
right? So I think there was an expectation there, and when he didn't actually do that consistently, because I just think the English season. By the time he got to December, he was like, "What the hell's
Knackered.
going on?"
Yeah, knackered.
He was the main
Burnt out.
reason. Though Nunes got the goals, when we got the win against 10 membership last season, he was the main reason. Man was all over the pitch.
Yeah,
He
I
literally
remember he
killed
had a
himself.
very
After
good,
the
very
game, they
good
had to
game.
pull him up. He couldn't get up off. He couldn't get
Yeah.
up off. He was so tired to get upset.
He now knows how to manage his energy now a lot better. Now he does it in bursts now, so I think he's kind of adapted. But Adrian said the 4-4-2 setup had some things going for it, but the details required weren't there, and I agree. But funny enough, after you lot put the lead, I'd say we were the better team. We settled down a bit more. We were trying to pass around. I mean, the passing wasn't there all game, to be fair, but we started to put the pressure on a little bit, and then the opportunity comes for Callum Wilson. Now, as soon as he's gone clear, I knew he was going to miss because he's still rusty.
Yeah.
The defender was just about to catch up to him.
Yeah.
So I think we tried to do, but a fit Callum Wilson, I think a fit and confident Callum Wilson at least puts it on target. Now, if you notice,
credit to Alisson though, guys, because he came out and cut down the angle.
He did.
Really quick.
He did. But I'm telling you, Isak has been a few times. Isak's been against you lot. He scored in that position. Yeah, one was disallowed. But the one that he scored, I think it was last season. He goes through and he puts it in. Isak's there. He puts it at least on target. He does. Yeah. But it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. And when Newcastle go to Anfield, listen, we don't get many opportunities, so we have to be clinical. And it just wasn't there. And from him in that way, he's not going to get another good job. I think before that, he had the one with offside, and even then he put it wide. Yeah, you know what I mean. So
that's what I'm saying. I thought you lot were going to try and take the game to us because, as you said, after the goal, Gordon was moving around and causing us issues because no one could pick him up because he wasn't staying in one place. He was moving. He was going left. He was dropping in.
And this is why I credit Eddie Howe because he tried something different, right? He did try something different, and even the fact that we didn't have our full strength team, you lot pretty much went full strength. We didn't have that. Yeah, we had obviously Botman missing, Joe Linton, and Isak, and those are three key players. Like you take them out of the team, we are a completely different team. Especially going away to Anfield, it's very Brand Wilson is toast. Listen, a lot of Newcastle fans are not happy with him.
But the joke is that if Wilson was to be sold to another Premier League team, he'd be the best finisher at probably 2/3 of the teams in the goddamn league.
I'm telling you, he would. The funny thing, and the thing is, we talk about his age as well. It's his birthday today, so he's a year older as well. You know what I mean?
Is he 33?
I think he's 33 now. Yeah, so you know what I mean. But the thing is, how Eddie Howe wants to keep him. Now, I have no problem keeping him as long as we get another striker. If we get another striker, but then that kind of stunts Osula's development a little bit as well.
I didn't know Osula was still alive, by the way. I thought,
well, nor does Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe probably says, "Oh, you're still there, are you? Let's put you on." But listen, I thought to myself, all right, listen, keep it to 1 until half time, and we've got a chance to nick something. We've got a chance because there wasn't too many opportunities that you lot carved out in that first half that I can remember of note.
It was efforts just wide and over. Salah had a shot that just bent, just past the angle, and it was a lot of promise with the attacks, but nothing. It wasn't like Pope was being consistently tested by any means. So I thought, look, get the second goal, otherwise these men are going to grow in confidence.
Right. So Rodney, at halftime, what were your thoughts on it?
Well, I was speaking to Jeff, and he was asking me what I thought the final score would be, and I actually said that Liverpool would probably score one more goal because I think his concern was that, with the missed chances from Wilson, that Liverpool might end up running away with it. But I just thought that, I don't think that Liverpool are really in this whole thing like they were with Klopp, where if they score 2 goals, they want to score 3. If they score 3, they want to score 4. I think they're more into saying, right, okay, we've scored the goals. Now the responsibility is on you to come and break us down. And if you overcommit, we're going to catch you on the break. And we saw that on a few occasions where Liverpool were able to attack on the counter, you know. But the one thing that I would say, in a similar way to Wolves, I just think at times Liverpool, in those situations where they're trying to control it, they're a bit too passive, and they allow teams to pass. They allow teams to, you know, get some attacking momentum, and then, you know, it gives teams chances to score. But unfortunately for Newcastle, you know, I don't think you really had the players up front to take advantage of that.
Okay. Big up Jefferson. Big up joining. You're right. You're right, sir.
What's going on? Sorry, peeps. I tried to join on my laptop, man. I've had so many issues, so I've had to join on my phone. It wasn't connecting, so apologies about that, man.
No worry. We just covered the first half. We'll just cover the first half. So we'll start. What were your thoughts after the first half? Obviously, 1-0 down. Wilson's missed that opportunity. There's no Isak. What were your thoughts at halftime?
Although I thought we'd done well to, you know, stay in the game of sorts, we had some kind of decent possession. It just felt like we were lacking that cutting edge. There was, I think, that moment where Murphy, you know, put in a decent cross, but no man was there, and we threaded it through to Wilson, etc. But it felt like, oh no, you know, could the floodgates open in the next half? But I think I was more worried from just a defensive point of view, because it was a shambles in terms of, you know, being really standoffish. I know you probably reviewed the first goal, but looking at that first goal, you know, Fabian Schär, you know, you're just staring at Diaz whilst he's dribbling. No one's actually putting a challenge in, and then Tonali just completely lost Szoboszlai, you know, was his man. So you think, right, second half, is it going to cave in? I guess it wasn't like a battering in the second half, but yeah.
Well, it's like the funny thing is that the second half starts now, and again, we weren't playing too badly, but they started to wake up a little bit. Liverpool started to wake up a little bit, and what they were doing is that long ball over the top. Yeah, the long ball over the top was causing us problems because we started to commit a few men forward and stuff. And I don't know about you, but we kept on slipping about the place at key points. We kept on slipping. I don't know what was wrong with us. That and it allowed them to win back the ball and then try counter or move the ball quickly. And the second goal was almost a carbon copy of the first. You know, Salah's on the right hand side. The defenders are jockeying. They're not really trying to put in a challenge. And he feeds it to McAllister. And the funny thing about that again is that Tonali gave the ball away twice in that lead up to that goal, and he got punished for it, right? And again, the defender standing off McAllister, he's got the freedom of the box, and he slots it away. Good finish, but totally avoidable. Double D, what are your thoughts on the goal?
Salah in and around that. Obviously, he wants to break these records as soon as possible. So he was going through when he was trying to get at Hall, and even if he hadn't beaten him, was trying to get a shot in. So I was just happy that he passed. And McAllister's shown, whether it be against Real Madrid this season or whoever, he's shown that he can finish. Like he was slapping ones in like that when he was at Brighton still. So no, it was a good goal. But teams, as you're saying, teams are going to sleep on that because they're so worried. Because Salah's shown with so many of these outside of the footballs, with the assist that he could get, teams are trying to pack the centre, but they always leave a man. And then, as you said again with Tonali on this goal here, you've given McAllister too much space. This man has great striking ability, and yeah, he's just slapped that top bins. And as you said, as to go with what Rodney said earlier, Slaughter said when watching the team, he's seen how relentlessly they press through the gegenpress. So, like, to release muscle injuries, etc., he only wants them to press crazy in certain parts of the pitch. But as you said, sometimes we get a little too comfortable when we've got the lead, as the Wolves game is the best example. But the good thing is that we're not conceding. Bar Manetzi had a chance when we played Wolves when the ball got played through, and Alisson had to come off his line like he did for the Wilson chance in the first half, we're restricting the big chances that teams get, which they had more of when Klopp was in charge, because we'd be so high sometimes. If you did catch us, you're through 1-on-1 consistently. So yeah, it's nice to see the balance and control, and to be able to not always be screaming at the TV and just know, okay, got a 2-goal lead now. sit back and just watch the game. And also as well, knowing Isak wasn't there as well, then you know that okay, there's not going to be someone that's necessarily going to come in and beat him. I thought one thing with Hal though, I think he should have brought on Harvey Barnes a bit earlier.
Well, this is it. Well, first of all, Brent said Liverpool wasn't worried one bit. Once they were 1-0 up, they were chilling. At some point, it did look like a bit like a training match, if I'm honest. But like I said, with the changes, in true Eddie Howe fashion, he waits to we're 2-0 down, and then he brings on the cavalry, like that they're going to save the show. I think he made four subs at one time. I think it was
65 minutes. Shout out to AC.
So predictable. But Jefferson, do you think that was a thing of, all right, listen, the game's over, just don't get battered, rest people for the weekend, wherever it is, because we got all the the fixtures that we got coming up, because we're not going to get back into this game? Or do you think he made them changes thinking, right, let's see if they can make a difference?
I think he thought maybe at best we might get one back, and it could, set about making them feel a bit uncomfortable, because we did see it where Wolves got one back and Liverpool were a bit shaky. And, it's like British manager style, energy. Let's get some legs in there. Energy. So, there was a bit of that going on, I think. But I think what I noticed with Lewis Miley, again, just touching it on times, he's a class above. There was times I seen him really calm and composed in possession, even when he was getting pressed, coming up with really good decisions. And I said it to Rod, because me and Rod went to the pub and watched the game together. I said to him, when I saw Willock starting, I was a bit disappointed, because I think in a game like this, particularly you're playing 3 in midfield, you need to try and keep hold of the ball when you can. And it felt like we were giving the ball away a bit cheaply at times. So I noticed there was that real nice calm and composure. He was a positive substitution, Lewis Miley. Would have liked to see him come on earlier or start the game, because I think Willock does give you go forward, but it means you leave your powder dry. If we're behind, I'd rather see Willock come on and attack the space, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think in terms of those subs, I doubt it was going to be a situation where we would score 2 or even 3 goals, but maybe he thought it would unsettle them if we had a bit more energy, winning those 50-50s, and maybe a touch of quality in the final third with the likes of Barnes, potentially.
I don't think... I see what you mean, because I said originally that I didn't think this game was one for Willett, because he wasn't going to get the space and stuff. But I think where we actually played 4. We played a 4-4-2, and I think probably thought that Willett was more suited on that side than Miley. And I don't think Willett played particularly bad, if I'm honest. I thought he did okay, and I thought the midfield. I thought the midfield battled okay. I don't think that their midfield dominated us. I just think that when we had the ball, we could do nothing with it. We couldn't string the passes together. But in terms of the battling side, I thought we did okay. But I don't think those 4 subs. I don't think he brought them on to think that they could actually make a difference. I thought that they think, just make it difficult for Liverpool to score anymore, keep some respectability on it, and keep it moving. If anything we got from that would be a bonus, because he's taken off. Wilson, I don't think can't do the 90 minutes anyway, and it's not like he's bringing on Joe Linton to have the battle in the physical presence, whatever. I just don't think those 4 subs. Trippier maybe to calm a few nerves and stuff. I don't know. It just wasn't. It didn't fill me with much confidence almost. I think that was the case of accepting what it is, the game for what it is, and we move on. But
one more point I noticed in terms of the patterns of play. There was a couple where we had a little bit of joy. There was a few nice combinations. And the one I talked about where you had Murphy on the right side, you've got Wilson who's double marked, so he can't get to the front post to get the ball. The other one was, I think it was Gordon linked up with Barnes. I could be wrong. And he got in, and it was a great cross. And it's like, again, if you've got one striker against arguably 2 centre-backs, they're not going to get there. unless they've got the intelligence to drop off into space. And this is where, again, you're playing your 3 central midfielders hurts us. Now, I know you're thinking, well, Liverpool were able to do it because they were able to get goals from 2 midfielders coming late into the box. But that's something I think about, where if we are going to play 4-4-2, where's the attacking midfielder? Because, again, if you're pulling a great cross, you want to see someone coming in late. Do you know what I mean? If the defenders attracted, if Wilson's attracted the defenders, you want to see that late surge into the box or someone who would normally be like a Willock, but they just weren't there.
Or dare I say it, a man who got 8 goals in the Premier League last season, a certain Longstaff, bruv. That's what he's special. Arriving late in the box and tuck it away. But it is. I don't know. It is what it is. But Adrian said, to have any chance against a side like Liverpool that's cruising on confidence, you have to bring some ugliness and chaos. And I agree. I just don't think we had the personnel to do it. If we had Joe Linton there, that's a different story. If we had our first choice midfield, we could bring the ugliness, we could bring the chaos. You know what I mean?
I was
going to say, I was going to ask Roger Double D if they thought he is a fug.
Liam said, could understand the role of Gordon, but to not have him against Trent was a shame. The final will be a different beast with players back. 4-4-1-1 was compact, but couldn't allow attacks in the same way. And we'll talk about that a bit later, about the final as well. He also said, 11 on the pitch at the end of the show. Just how shallow the pool is, that Howe is working with good players, but not good enough. Only Hall and Gordon left at 90. True. But Rodney, what's your thoughts on Joe Linton?
Well, he's definitely a physical presence. He definitely treads the line between, stepping over and staying the right side, and ultimately he's there to ruffle a few feathers. Do you know what I mean? You don't want a scenario where, your Arsenals and your Liverpools and your Cities are just going to be there playing their football and there's no one putting their foot in. So that is what his role is, So although as a Liverpool fan, as opposition, I don't like to see him and I don't like what he does. If he was in my team, I would say, yeah, all good. Keep doing what you're doing, because he's a disruptor. He's a disruptor. And you need that.
You do need him. I don't know if wasn't he frozen?
Oh, did we lost him? Is he frozen?
He might have been frozen.
Oh man!
Oh, there it is. You back?
Is he back?
Yeah.
He's there. All right. Big up Tiger. Tiger's locked in.
Yes, Tiger.
He
Make sure you stay, bro. I don't want to be the only villain in the room. Yeah.
Listen, obviously by that comment, he wasn't impressed by the show.
Jefferson's got a tag team partner. Let's go.
He said, people say if our players all back, we can beat anyone, but if we lose the final, what's going to be the excuse then? Right. We'll wrap up the game, then we'll talk about the final, right? So there wasn't really much of note. Salah started having a bit of fun. Yeah, he put a lovely ball through to he was at the far post.
The Nunes one.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Diaz? Yeah.
Two or three good passes, but
yeah,
that was when he didn't try to take on Hall and just passed it because he was intended.
Did you see how clever that was? When he knew he couldn't get round, he just started playing Trivella.
Yeah, but he's been saying that about him dropping deeper. Enough. He's not even in the box as much as he has been in previous seasons, and he's scoring more goals. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, credit to Hall for the couple of times he did tackle him, because Salah thought, let me do this thing differently. But yeah,
Lewis Hall, mate. Lewis Hall, yeah. Remember? Yeah.
He used to come to death row, mate.
Yeah. Well, that's the talk. There's talk that Liverpool are interested in, but obviously he's not going to go anywhere in the summer. But you know what I mean? It's right. Me and Jefferson like the Dudley Boys tag team.
Get the tables! Get the tables! Let's get the tables!
And he held time through a table at Elimination Chamber.
Legion of Doom out here. But yeah, listen. It ended up being a routine win for Liverpool, right? So now you're 13 points clear with Arsenal dropping points again. I've already asked Double D, but Tiger, Yeah. Is the league done? Not Tiger, sorry, Rodney. Rodney's the league done.
Look, I've been having conversations with another mate of ours around this because over the last kind of month or so, every time Liverpool drop points, he just works himself up into a panic because he's got this whole thing. Arsenal are going to come back. They're going to
I
get
know who this
back
is.
into it. And I keep saying to him, how are they going to score the goals to get back into it? Because the reality of it is, even allowing for the drop points at Everton, the drop points at Villa, the reality of it is they would still need to win all their games. You know, and even if Liverpool won 50% of their games, remaining games at that point, Arsenal still wouldn't have won the league. So, you know, you can see the trajectory. Look at the game against Leicester. Obviously, you had the game against West Ham on Saturday. And again, they struggled to score last night. So for me, really and truly, once they'd drawn the game, who did they draw with before?
Forest.
No, who did they? No, they beat Leicester before West Ham, right?
No, they beat Leicester, then they lost to West Ham, and then they've
Right.
drawn with Forest.
Right. So pretty much the West Ham one, because I was actually out. I didn't even know what was going on. I wasn't following it. And then I looked at my phone and he messaged me saying, you know, how did you know this was going to happen? And I'm like, well, come on, man. You know,
They've
look
got
at
no
that
striker. They got no
look at that
striker.
front line. Look
They've
at
got
that
bag
front
of
line.
injuries, and they got Arteta who can't win. So you know what I mean? It's
You know,
the league done.
don't get me wrong. Moreno did well to get back those 2 goals against Leicester, but they thought that was going to be a trend.
Just
But
repeat that
actually,
again.
no.
He got 2 goals against Leicester. Yeah.
All right.
You know what I mean?
B man, don't go there, bruv. Because when I said Leicester, no,
No. Let me finish. No, let me finish.
B man, no, bruv. I got you.
Let me.
I got you. I got you.
Where's the referee?
I got you, D man. D man, I got you, brother.
Are you gonna listen? Are you gonna listen? It's not about beating Leicester. I said it's the fact that Marino scored 2 goals against Leicester. They're celebrating. Of course, Arsenal could beat Leicester. I'm not talking about the
Double
victory
D.
itself. No.
D man was waxing lyrical when we beat them in that run, yeah?
Yeah. But that's the difference between beating them and your strikers going. He got 2 goals against them, and they got like he was the second coming to Jesus. There's a big difference. I said Leicester were in a 9-game run. But hold on. Leicester in a 9-game run. I didn't wax Liverpool got Leicester, you know. I said they're in the run. I was actually Man United, Villa, Spurs. And I said the Luton one was the banana skin that you said, yeah, you had visions of who we lost to last season, Luton. When we beat
Luton.
You said it was a safe fixture. Don't put words in my mouth, fam. Don't put words in my mouth. Yeah. Don't
I'm
even
just
try
saying, you said only Leicester. And I said only Leicester as well.
Yeah,
but then when it was me, it was like, nah.
No.
But he's looking
You
at
beat who's in front of you. I'm not saying, but it's a difference between if we're second and I don't know, Longstaff scores 2 goals against Leicester. We're not going to celebrate that he's the second coming of Henri, are we? We're not going to say that. It's a
nah.
This is the difference. This is the difference between us and Arsenal in that particular. Leicester. Anyone who loses to Leicester are garbage. Anyone who drops points to Leicester are garbage. That's why I even said that because the Spurs drop points to Leicester. Yeah, don't go. We still got to play Leicester again. So he could come back to bite me. But they are. We know how garbage Leicester are. We know how garbage they are. But the fact that he scored 2. They were talking about this title race is back on. It was never on. Was never on. Liverpool won that title from January, bruv. Yeah, from early January.
It's done, isn't it?
They got gassed off with a 5-1 against Man City, and they thought they were going to do the humble thing. Since then, what have they done? Absolutely nothing. But my brothers in the building.
I'll tell you what they've done. They've been flipping bodied by Newcastle home and away. That's what they've done.
Look at this nonsense. My brother, this is my brother.
No. You see this brother here? Yeah,
that's my brother. That's my brother.
You see that, yeah? No Joe Linton, innit? Remember, yeah?
Bruv, don't get him started on Joe Linton because he's gonna start calling him the Gruffalo again. Watch, don't get him started, bro. Yeah, but
The home game. The home game is the litmus test, isn't it? Because
but even in this game, their midfield didn't dominate us in this game. You know, they did not dominate us this game. Yeah, it was actually a midfield battle. It's just because they scored, their midfielders, Sabodlai and McAllister scored. That's why he's saying it. But they did, if you looked at the game, they did not dominate us in midfield. They didn't. They were bypassing our midfield, yeah, and attacking our dodgy centre backs. That's what they were doing. But yeah, we got other comments anyway. But Double D, is the league done? Because now you've been. We'll wait till the league's done, isn't it?
I want the. You know me. We could be 10 points clear on the last day, and I'll still have doubts. Two more home games to come. Win those two, and it's done. But basically, obviously, before the season started, I said that. I said City, right? Because for the main fact, I said that because Arsenal hadn't bought the striker. So now with all their front line going out, they're having the same thing. Like when we had all our defenders out for the season, people were saying, why didn't we buy someone to replace Lovren? Why didn't this guy get another forward, man? You loaned out Reece Nelson, you sold Smith Rowe, you loaned Fabio Vieira back to Porto, and you sold Nketiah. It's his own fault.
And Balogun as well. Balogun as well.
I can't have sympathy for them.
Speaking of Arteta, we can all answer the question that Tigers raised. He said, "Is Howe better than Arteta?" So let me start with Rodney. Is Eddie Howe better than Arteta?
That is a question. I, on balance, would have to say no. But then, if you look at the amount of investment that Arsenal have had, you know, Newcastle haven't had nowhere near that investment. So it's a very difficult question to answer.
Okay, so
it's over 700 million for them to
like this,
like Burnley and Stoke.
Here's another question. Is the job that Eddie Howe's done with Newcastle better than the job that Arteta's done with Arsenal, with all things considered?
Ooh, they're about even. But you know what, though? Because I think what Eddie achieved was big. Obviously, basically, Unai Emery did a similar thing the season after Eddie, but Eddie did it first. Taking someone from 19th in the league to 4th is massive. Yeah, what he did. But you look at Arsenal, I think, obviously, his first 2 seasons, they finished 8th. But remember, they had Mustafi, Guendouzi, Lacazette. They have bare waste man in their team that he had to try and get rid of before he could restart the team. So there was a lot of attitude problems in that team as well. People going out in the nighttime doing the flipping, shisha, going to strip clubs and all that stuff. He had to get rid of them players. Aubameyang turning up late to the game and all that stuff. To turn them into the title contenders that they were, really, the problem was that they didn't get it over the line last season. If they got it over the line last season, we'll be having a different conversation. So I think it's quite close. And you could argue, to be fair, let's be real, Eddie's had the excuses of injuries last season, but really and truly, when you look at it, it's been one good season. One. Whereas you could argue Arteta has finished second, is it 3 times in a row or twice?
This will be 3 times in a row. All right,
3 times in a row, plus an FA Cup, an FA Cup. So
I'm going with Howe, just to switch up a bit. And the reason why
I'm going with Howe as well.
Newcastle to their second, as you said, the investment nowhere near as much. Everyone thought you lot would be spending the money that Arsenal was spent, and you haven't spent anywhere near that, but because of this PSR nonsense that's kicked in, right? He's got you to your second cup fund, as you said, taking them from 19th to where they are in the table. Because if you look at it, because Arsenal fans have this entitlement, they were cussing when they were winning FA Cups still under Wenger, but they weren't doing it in the league. And then obviously they dropped out for the Champions League to the Europa League. So all Arteta's done, because we can all talk about second, I don't agree with this nonsense that they've been better than City. I even heard Robbie say it last week on AFTV. How can you be better than the champions?
After over 38 games. It's
the same nonsense people were saying when Barcelona won the league under Xavi, that Real Madrid were better than them. How?
Right.
Barcelona in like 13 league goals in the whole goddamn season.
There's not one league season where the worst team doesn't win the league. Exactly. It's 38 games. You are the better team.
Man, you even admitted it the other day. Come on.
I didn't.
That City have been in decline the past 2 to 3 years, and that they've been clutch goals. Because guys, the 3 points is symbolized by a man like Gvardiol popping up with 7-8 winners.
Right,
That's not a good team.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that
Whereas
happen on
Arsenal were actually playing scintillating football.
No, you're just getting on who plays the most attractive.
It's true.
In 23-24, they're playing scintillating football.
Wait a minute. You're going over who plays the better eye-catching football. No team over 38 games, if you're the champions, no team is better than you. That's a fact. That's a fact. I don't care how good you play or how bad pleasing to the eye you are.
But didn't they have the most goals scored, the least goals conceded?
No, they didn't.
Or something like that. Wasn't it the most wins?
No.
They had the most wins in the league.
No. Listen. They had the most goals scored. No, wait. They had the most goals that they've scored in the Premier League history.
Yeah.
Not in the league, but City outscored them. Yeah. They had the better defense in terms of numbers, but it doesn't matter. They didn't amass enough points. Yeah. Over the last God knows how many seasons. Yeah. This is the first season in a long time they've been better than City. Yeah. And they still can't win the league. So no, I remember even to go to you, they threw away the league.
Yeah, they did. They did.
They didn't throw away the league. City
actually, yeah, you could argue because was it 2 seasons ago they had a 9-point lead, wasn't it?
Right.
And then I think they drew 2 and lost 1 or something, and then City came back, didn't they? So
exactly, you drew 2 and lost 1. That's not throwing away the league because City was so good in that run. They couldn't deal with it.
And remember that
man like John Stones and Gvardiol is not good, bruv. That's not good football. That's not, and Rodri, this isn't good football, bruv.
Jefferson, that is
the best midfielder in the world.
Don't worry about the football because Leicester, I didn't like the football Leicester played when they won the league. But I used to win the league with goals in the 10th minute of injury time from Steve.
Right. His second favourite team anyway.
True.
Players from all around the team to score goals.
But back to the question though.
True. Fair play.
Arteta had a better squad to take over than Howe did, right? But like I said, to take from 19th to the Champions League and 2 cup finals, and to be consistently challenged for Europe, I think there's, and also he's got a better head-to-head record against Arteta. Yeah. Yeah, he does. Yeah. So I think.
What are people saying in the chat? What are people saying in the chat about it?
Get me.
Well, Liam said Arteta's getting ain't getting the team from 2 to Prem.
So he thinks he's met his limit, basically.
We finished 1 point behind these guys, not once but twice, and no one has ever said we were better than them. And both seasons we did it, we got silver.
I thought you were one of them. Was it the season you got 97? No, not 97.
And this is the point. City haven't even touched anywhere near the points they got when.
What was the season? So the season they got 100. How many points did you guys get?
Man United came second when we got 100.
What was there was 2 seasons in a row.
They got 98 and we got 97.
What about the season after that? What was the one where you won the Champions League?
No. We won the Champions League when they got when they beat us by 1 point. So
that's the season I thought you lot were better than them. That's the season I thought you lot were better than them.
They fought, but they weren't. They weren't.
They won the league, man.
The fact is they weren't. Yeah, that's the fact. They weren't.
You get me?
The next season they were.
The only game we lost that season was against City, so it was our own fault.
Fuming.
Flipping blocks Aguero's shot instead of just letting him shoot.
But that's the difference between Klopp and Arteta. Klopp learned from his mistakes. He used it as a tool to get above City the next season. Arteta still can't do it. He still can't do it.
Well. They also don't go deep in any cups since they won it.
Well,
so what are we basically saying then? That Eddie is elite? Is that what you guys are trying to say?
Pound for pound, with the pieces Howard's got, he has done a better job than Finland.
Yeah, he's not elite though. No one's saying he's elite.
In my personal opinion,
you can't be elite if you don't win that. He's not elite, bro.
I mean, ultimately, if you look at what Eddie Howe's done, as D-Man said, 19th to Champions League, 2 cup finals. Other than the first FA Cup final, how many finals has Mikel Arteta been to? Even with all that investment.
And please remember those games, the semi-final and that final, yeah? If Emi Martinez wasn't in goal, they were lucky Leno got injured. It sounds bad. If Emi Martinez was in goal, they wouldn't have been City in the semi. And then Cavuca into them coming from behind against Chelsea, you get what I'm saying? But now, how because even that's just us going off of the Newcastle and Arsenal jobs. Go back to when Howell was at Bournemouth. That first season when Josh King got all those goals, half their squad was injured and he kept them up comfortably. He's a very underrated manager, but he was more about attacking. That's why he went to Spain and sat with Simeone and sat with Iraola. And Iraola has said that since he's come to England, Howe doesn't answer the phone to him after he let him sit in his training sessions and made himself more tactically astute. But because he's English, he won't get the ratings. Look at how De Zerbi got Brighton into Europe. He was linked with every top job in Europe. You get what I'm saying? So it's just because Howe is English, bruv. Don't discredit what he's doing. He can be annoying, and obviously for you lot mainly as Newcastle fans, because every game you're gonna undress and depict, bruv. But you get what I'm saying? But no, he's done the job, bruv.
Hardly better than Arteta anyway. But anyway,
I agree with Tiger.
Yeah, it's a bigger achievement than anything Arteta's done. But
because we have people like Danny Simpson and players like that, man.
But yeah, but no, listen. Just quickly back, I told you about don't get my brother started on Joe Linton. Look, frankly, the hatchet man.
Hatchet man! Oh my god! Oh man. He's normally my background as well. If I was on my laptop, I'd have him as my background.
But no,
he's Brazilian. He only costs 40 million, and we think he's fucking brilliant. He's Joe Linton.
Let's talk about the final, the cup final.
Wait. D. Before we get to the cup final, let's not go on like you were in Liverpool, bro. Can we unpack the day, please?
Oh, that's long, bro. The day, it's very tiring. Very tiring. I would say, you know what? I didn't get to record. I should have recorded the whole "You Never Walk Alone" at the beginning of the game, which was a sight for sore. Right, that was something good to see. But as usual, it went quiet after that. But then, to be fair, the Newcastle fans weren't in there. They weren't as loud and vocal as they normally are. I think they were still in shock by no Isak, if I'm honest. But they still gave it a go. But yeah, I went on a tour afterwards, tour the stadium, and I will say we've got a while to go, man. There's levels to this thing, man, because the stadium tour, the mega store that they have, it's levels above. Even Newcastle's newly built club store, nothing in comparison to this, man.
There's another store about 2 or 3 minutes from the stadium as well, in like the shopping.
Yeah, I went to I saw that, but I didn't go in. But the one in the stadium is just a madness, man. It's absolutely madness. I went in the museum as well. You see the trophies and whatnot. It's just it's a different level, man. Different. We got a long way to go before we're going to be on that level, on and off the pitch.
Champions Leagues.
You know what I mean? It's you know, even in the museum, you've got the tribute to Gerrard. You've got a tribute to Carragher. You've got tribute to Gerrard. You got the manager tributes from when you walk in. They've all got the little wall from the beginning, from like the Shankly and all their things there, all the way through to Slot. Like it's different levels, man. Different levels to this, but good day out, man. Good day out. Friendlier than I thought they were going to be as well. To be fair, so big up the Scousers with that. So you know you can see Goodison Park from Anfield and that. So
just there on the other side of Stanley Park, bruv.
Yeah.
We got the Racismo treatment when we first went there almost 20 years ago from about 8 of them in the flipping sky blue flipping Punto, bruv.
How did it work though? Because you see, I expected maybe because I was in the heart of Liverpool, but surely I didn't see one Everton shirt throughout my whole stay, bro. Not one. Everything was just Liverpool.
They should be in their house and embarrassed they dropped their 2-goal lead to Man United. That's
wow.
Bunch of muppets, but yeah, you get. But no, in the daytime it's much different. They're probably shooken than that. They would have been intimidated by you as well. No, I'm playing. It's. There's other things we'll talk about, not on camera, but no, it's cool up there, man.
It's all right, man.
You should have hollered the homie Josh, bruv, to come link you.
Yeah, I was an in and out job, mate. In and out job, but yeah, maybe next time, man. But now, to the final now. Tigers obviously in his optimistic self, he said we're losing the final. They're too much for us.
The
But
final
now,
would be a completely different game. Completely different game.
I'm going to say, do you think this game had any bearing on? I asked Rodney, do you think that this had any bearing on the final itself? Some are saying that obviously how deliberately chose a different formation just to throw stuff off. I don't think there's anything in that, but we're also missing 3 of our key players. Do you think there's anything to take from this game here, Rodney?
Not really, other than the fact that there is, as you said, you were without 3 key players. So obviously, if those players are available, I would suspect a lot tougher game. Because the one thing I will give Newcastle in the games that I've seen them play, obviously the one against City didn't really go to plan. But generally, when they're playing against the bigger teams, if you want to call them that, they show a lot of heart, a lot of commitment, graft, hard work, and then you've got that quality up front with Isak, and the guy's always capable of scoring a goal. So I think it all hinges on who is available for you guys for that final, as to how it's going to pan out.
Okay. Tiger said, but lads, even with our strongest lineup, how we're going to play the same backs against the wall, hit them on the counter? Possibly, but I don't think he really did that approach yesterday. So he might, and it's a neutral ground.
Yeah, but Isak, a fit Isak, change, even if they play like that, will change everything. It might actually make you look more dangerous.
Yeah. Do you think this had any bearing on it, Double D?
Not really, no, because once we knew, obviously from the weekend of Arsenal to the West Ham, the main thing was just to win. And I think that's the mistake that people are making with Liverpool in their first season. We spoke to Alonso, we spoke to Amorim, and they only offered. So we didn't speak to Alonso. We sounded out because everything leaks from Liverpool nowadays. They probably know what the players had for breakfast this morning. They sounded out that they wanted Alonso, and he said he was staying at Leverkusen. So it was a rejection to everyone, Real Madrid or whatever. But obviously we were mocked in the summer for it. They spoke to Amorim. He was intent on playing 3 at the back. So they went with Slot because they thought that his style was the most similar to Klopp's. And it's worked wonders so far. So the thing is, you're not necessarily going to see scintillating football every time you watch Liverpool play. They just adapt to what the game gives them. So if we see that, as long as we get in, and we're not 2-0 down to Newcastle in the final, if he sees the threat that Isak's caused or Gordon's caused, he will make the adjustments in the game to try to take it. Whether or not, because it's a final, he gets intimidated by it or not, we'll see. But I don't think that game yesterday will have, if anything, it will help Howe more than it will help Slot, because remember, Slot was up in the at the top, so all he could do was phone Johnny Heitinger because he was on the sideline. So it was Johnny with the subs. So I just think he was telling some of the subs that he made, not bringing on the likes of Elliot or whatever. But it will be largely the same team Liverpool player, I would think, apart from maybe it will probably be Gakpo for Jota and might be Kelleher in goals and Alisson.
What about Robertson?
Tsimikas did okay yesterday. I've listened to 1 or 2 people saying Tsimikas was brilliant. I thought he was good yesterday, and that was about it.
It's got a good cross on him, anyway.
That's the best thing about him, because he used to be a left winger back.
He can't shoot, that's for sure.
That shot was wild. Worse shooting than Robertson, mate. You know what I'm saying? This is why I've cried out for us to get out Nori, because the positions we create when people overlap, the fullbacks always get into great positions. Trent will, not really this season, but Trent will bang in goals. Robbo's always shanking his shots, bruv. I think someone like Nori, a left back that can finish, will completely transform this team, and you'll see even more goals come. But yeah, there's going to be an overhaul in the summer. If we get it wrong, then we'll go from champions to third to third place if we get it wrong. But we'll see how it goes. So out of these damn contracts, man. I know Slot's watching this. Yeah, well, not Slot. Richard Hughes, that flipping Piers Brosnan lookalike niggas. Man, have nothing to do with it.
They know what they're doing.
He's Eddie's mate as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
The 2-2 Bournemouth link up. This is why, you mean?
They know what they're doing, man.
People
But
now
listen,
people get linked to it. Yeah.
Tiger said we only show heart at home. Away to them, we bet over like we're at Guantanamo Bay.
You lot haven't won there since Rob Lee in that school, didn't it?
Go on, Adrian. Go on, Adrian.
Adrian said this group of players can pull up a big performance out of the bag. I'm optimistic about this final.
Anything can happen in the final, bro.
And Liam says, agreed, Rodney. We will still be underdogs. If Botman is fit, Howe will go 5 at the back like Arsenal. Not back to the wall. Gordon on Trent. Section 142. Game 1.
Right.
If you look at the success we had, because I said it to Rod yesterday. The game where Liverpool should have had 9 men. I repeat, 9 men, and they only have 1 player sent off. And Núñez scored probably 2 of the best finishes in his life that he will never do again. We should have won that game, basically. And we won that game on high-intensity press and playing our game. The same as the 3-3 draw. And I know Liverpool got 3-2 in front and then we got 1 back. But I would say we kind of bossed that game mostly. And a lot of that came, again, from our high press and intensity. Now, I know Wembley's a massive pitch, so it's going to be interesting if we decide to play long ball over the top and stuff like that. But I think our success against Liverpool has come when we take it to them, and not just them, other top teams. When we sit back and invite pressure and play defensive, I've only really seen it work against Arsenal. So all of a sudden, it's become this formula that we must, turn to that as a formula to kind of play these big matches. I think our success comes from when we play our game, there's correct decision making, we utilize the ball well, and we've got high energy, intense press. I think there's like a 30% chance we can at least take them to extra time or win the game.
I agree. I think that's where we're at our strengths. However, I do think that depends on who's on the pitch. If we need our strongest team, don't we? If the 3 that we're missing are there at the final, that gives us a much bigger chance. A, to play our game, and B, to get something out of the game or to win the game. Because without
drop share, drop Pope straight away,
and drop Willett. You put them on, you put them 3 in the midfield, and obviously you get Isak up top. It's a different story. Have
you guys spoken about that? Because now I've seen Tiger. Have you guys spoken about the decision about Pope? Because I just feel playing Pope, you've lost the game straight away.
We were already talking about it before.
Yeah,
unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
That's the one big error that Eddie Howe made yesterday, was the selecting Nick Pope. And and the thing is, the worrying thing is, I don't think he's going to change from that, because
it's decline.
He said he's the best shot stopper in the league. I mean, no, he's not.
No, he's not, man.
Like, and he's error prone, man. Like, he's just, I don't know. And the thing is,
hoofing it long ain't helping no one.
Exactly.
Because we need to hold on.
You're gonna play in the final. He's gonna play in the final. Like, it's. I don't know.
I mean, he can't afford to hand over the initiative to Liverpool before a ball's kicked. You need to make smart decisions around chance, because if you're going to start saying, well, oh yeah, you're going to try and be a bit cute, and then it backfires, that's another final that you've not given yourself the best chance of winning.
Is the final? I know you got the Champions League against PSG and stuff. When's the second leg? Is it before the final or after the final?
I think it's before.
Right.
I think if it's back-to-back weeks,
I think we go PSG, Southampton, PSG final.
Right. Okay. So does that mean we have a bit of rest, in between? We got West Ham on the Monday. Yeah, we got West Ham on the Monday. Then we play the final. So maybe might work in our favor. I don't know. But obviously we'll talk about that as the time comes. We've got a few games in between that, because we've got Brighton, then West Ham.
Yeah, it's before.
You see, right now, if we gamble everything on this cup, which I've said only gets you Europa League, at this moment in time, everybody up to 10th place has caught us now. So you lose a game, you're going down to 10th place. and the league is the bread and butter. I don't know why people don't realise this. We need revenue off the pitch, because you've seen it where Villa are capitalising on that. We need to make Champions League, particularly if it's 5th place. We just got to do it. You know, I think Cup, as much as I love it, it's the bread and butter, because eventually, I think, the Cup is a bonus, because eventually I think we will win a Cup. If the trajectory goes well, we will get there eventually. It's inevitable. Once the PSR rules get relaxed and everything, we can start spending more, we get more sponsorship. We will get there. We just have to be patient. But the key to that is top level European qualification to keep getting the 40-50 million pound revenue every year. You've seen it with Spurs. It's been able to help them grow as a club. I know they've not won anything, but they're able to spend more, you know. Yeah, that's the thing. Obviously it's nice. I would love to win the Cup, right? But I just think I don't want us to lose sight of a great opportunity where, let's be real, Chelsea are inconsistent. Man United are nowhere to be seen. You've got the likes of Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest there. Yeah. Villa, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. If they get knocked out of Champions League, they might rise up. But this is a great opportunity to finish 4th or 5th. It's a great opportunity.
It's a great opportunity. I just think that we haven't got the squad to do it. I'll be honest. I know everyone can be, and you said about 10th, but again, we're only a few points off 4th place. So I think we're like 4 points off 4th and 3 points off 10th or something it is.
Yeah, but we say we ain't got the squad, D man. But you know, Barnes has come back. Barnes has come back now. Yeah, like, I just feel like we tend to make a lot of excuses now. I think
it's not excuses.
We in terms of, if you look at the last season where we had what is it, the injuries, that was like, what is it, 1400 and whatever hours, right? Where we only had 12 first teamers to utilize. We're not that bad. We're at a time we're only missing 2 to 3 to 4 key players. There's enough in there to do something, and part of that has come from not utilizing the squad enough. You've got the likes of Kraft, you've got the likes of Miley. I was happy to see, that was good to see Asula get a solid half an hour, but that should have been done weeks ago. So my argument is, there's been opportunity to utilize the squad over the course of the season. By now, they would have more minutes that we could start doing more rotations. So the way we view it is on the basis of how Eddie utilizes them is like, we don't have many players. But I actually do think there are some players there. Whether they're good enough is another thing.
This is what I'm saying. This is my thing. We've got the players. We've got numbers. But on terms of quality, Chelsea and Villa should be finishing above us. They should be finished above us. Yeah. So if we finish above them, that's a big surprise, in my opinion. Right. So you've got Liverpool, you've got Man City. I think are actually going to finish second. You've got Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal. Then you've got Chelsea. Then you've got Villa. Then you've got us. I think we should be finishing above Forest and Bournemouth. But if we finish above those 2 teams, that's a fantastic job. And I don't think it's expected. I don't know what their running is like. Everyone else is running is like, but I don't think it's we've flopped the season if we don't finish top 5. Yeah, especially if we get a trophy, because you talk to any 90% of Newcastle fans will take that trophy. If they meant top 6 and a trophy, they'll bite your hand off. Don't be wrong. Financially, I get it, because you want to keep the likes of Isak. I don't think both Isak and Bruno or Tonali, all 3 will go. But if you're going to keep them long term, you have to get Champions League football. But as a football fan, you need, because there's no guarantee. You say it's inevitable to get a trophy. It's not inevitable, bro. First of all, we thought that when they won that League Cup how many years ago, they probably thought they're going to continue to win trophies, bro.
And they got to another League Cup final and lost to Man United either the year after or 2 years after. It doesn't always work like that. Give us the trophy and give us European football. Don't worry, Champions League will be amazing. If he gets a Champions League, that'll be amazing. That will soften the blow if we lose the cup. Yeah, but I think if he gets a trophy and Europa League provided the 6th place, if you get 6th place in a trophy, I think that's a great season. I think that's
what if he gets a trophy? What if he gets the trophy and finishes 8th?
No. I think he should go because winning the League Cup gets you Conference League, right?
Conference League, yeah.
Then to me, that's not good enough. That's not, because like I said, we are better than 8th. I think, in my opinion, we're better than 8th. The Forest and Bournemouth should not be. I tell you, Fulham are not finishing above us. Yeah, but Forest and Bournemouth we should be finishing above. Yeah?
Double D's getting that Kante, you know.
Ain't thing. I saw. I don't know. I didn't watch the full game, but I saw Robertson played 18 minutes. Did he start the game or did he go off after 18 minutes? Is he injured?
I didn't even
I don't know.
get to see Fulham's game. But as you're saying, Chelsea with the gas, and when you look at the plethora of players that they had in their squad, even still after trimming it, their Conference League team, Cole Palmer wasn't even registered.
That's
right?
what I mean.
They play a completely different team, so they can never complain about freshness or anything like that. So the points that they're dropping at the moment is unacceptable. In my opinion, they should never have axed Poch, but that's a whole different thing. But no, even 8th in the cup, I wouldn't think how we need to go. Get you into Europe, and with City winning that ruling, it means that you can spend a bit more without having to worry about that.
It should do. But we'll find a way. We'll find a way to blame PSR and blame Saturn for we're not spending next summer. I'll tell you, I think the fans are going to riot. But listen,
I think we have to aim for fifth. I agree. I think fourth would be exceptionally tough. Like I think we talked about it last week already, didn't we? I can't remember now. Was it we have to win 8 out of the final 12 games or whatever it is? That's obviously not going to happen. It's very difficult. But I think we must aim for fifth. We must aim for fifth because there's a high chance. I can't. Yeah, I think we can close Forest down.
Your next 4 league games, right, are going to decide things, in my opinion. Away against West Ham, who have just beaten Leicester. Home to Brentford.
Not easy.
Away to Leicester, and then home to Man United.
So that's 6 points.
Oh wow!
If you look serious,
points.
I think 10. I think you look can take 10 points from them.
We can take 10. 6 of them is guaranteed. 6 of them is guaranteed.
Let's do a Man U, yeah?
Yeah, Leicester and Man U are guaranteed, man. I'm telling you. If we can't beat those two, get rid of him. Yeah,
we're finished.
You get me? But
where does so Double D Rod? So I feel like I'm taking D-Man's role here. Sorry. Go. I'm just interested to know where they think we're gonna finish this season. Or where do you think we should finish this season, and where do you think we'll finish this season?
I want you lot to come 5th, but I think you may come 6th. But if you take the points, I think you get for the next 4 games. I think you can finish 5th. Actually, properly think you could come 5th.
Rodney?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd say around 5th, 6th would be about right. But again, it all depends on player availability. Because again, for you guys to be able to put some kind of run together, you're going to need some of those key players to be fit. If they're kind of coming in and out of the side, that's going to kind of disrupt things, and it's going to affect your ability to have any kind of consistency. So I think that is going to be key. But if you can keep those guys fit for even if it's 75% of the games, I think you should be all right to finish around 5th.
Okay.
Are you not going to go full strength for this Brighton Cup game?
No.
We might have to allow the FA Cup,
I'd gladly allow it, but I think it'll rotate. I think Wilson will start again, or Wilson or Asula will start, or maybe both. I think Miley will start. Miley, you might see Botman back just to give him a run out. But yeah, we ain't gonna go full strength. We're gonna Longstaff will play. Yeah, man. With the 2 games, because he needs focus for the West Ham game and the cup final. So I don't think we're gonna go strong, but we'll see.
Because with the Prem teams that have dropped out, and then the all Prem games in this round, if you get past Brighton, only really Manchester City you could sit there and expect you to stop you from winning the FA Cup.
Yeah, we'll probably get them in the next round. But
people are going to knock them out like they knocked out Brentford and us, both. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you've got the other part of that is all right. Get past Brighton, and then the accumulation of games can disrupt your league form.
Yeah, true.
So as much as I was saying to Jeff, I was unhappy about going out to Plymouth. But now we've got a free weekend before PSG.
Oh, this is it.
You know what I'm saying? So you cannot compete and go deep in every competition because your players are just not going to be able to handle that.
Yeah.
And Slot doesn't trust enough of the damn squad, as I was saying, man.
I'll take Elliot, man.
These man
Boy,
knows that
I'll take Elliot.
I'm campaigning for Harvey Elliott to get a start, man. But Sobosai when Sobosai got the warning in the press conference and has answered with 2 and 2
heard the
games.
call, mate. He's like, not on my watch. Not on my watch.
And Jones, bad man. He's a bad man, Jones.
He's a sick baller.
Jones is very
His game's risen this year for sure.
He gets injured so much, man. Baller though, baller.
But yeah, listen, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you for Rodney for joining. Thanks Double D for joining as well.
Big up.
Check out the DD Footy Factor on Saturdays, 10 to 12 on Top FM 95.5. Myself, Double D, and Big Sam. Rodney, anything you want to plug, or you just happy to be here, happy to join in with the gang?
I'm just happy to join in. I love to talk football, so yeah, just happy for the invite.
Big up, Rodgers.
You're welcome.
Big up, bro.
Big up. But yeah, listen, from the 90s mags, we'll be back soon. I don't know if we're going to do the FA Cup one, but we'll be back soon today.
We need to get that brother AC back in this room.
Yeah, man. AC will be back. AC back for the next one, hopefully. So, but yeah, now thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for the comments. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
See you later, guys.
Yeah, later.